Welcome! We're going to do a quick walkthrough of the controls of Sonatura's flagship amp sim called Noir Tones, because there are a couple of cool things I want to show you. This is the main panel which comes up when you first open Noir Tones. There are two sections. The top section is the amp, the bottom section is the mixer. All the controls are pretty straightforward. When you click on one of the amp pictures, that's how you switch amps. This first amp, which we call the Kalamazoo, is based on a Gibson Saturn. And up on top we see the panel of the Saturn with the same controls the original amp has. But if we click on the second picture, up comes the panel of the Durango 1344A, which is based on the Silvertone 1344A. We called it the Durango because of the Durango to Silvertone Railroad in Colorado, so that's something you didn't know before. You notice that this panel is different. It has somewhat different controls because the 1344A doesn't have reverb. Other than that, the controls are the same as the Kalamazoo. Let's click on the third amp, which is based on the Valco Oahu. You immediately notice that this amp has fewer controls. That's because the original amp has only a volume control. So we've actually added a couple of controls here. The first is an output level, because that's a necessity when recording, and we also have a drive switch. This switches into a different model of the same amp, with this one allowing for more distortion. Of course, this particular amp sim doesn't focus on distortion, but we wanted to put this in anyway. There's a power switch for each of the three amps, and that's where we start to see something interesting happen. The power switch is a true bypass of the amp sim only. That means that when bypassed, the incoming signal goes directly to the lower mixer section. That's useful if you want to use only the speakers, microphones, and room sound of the mixer section. You can bring in any other amp sound or just your direct sound to feed the mixer. So now let's go down to the mixer. And before we even get to the mixing, let's look at this blue button, which is also a true bypass, but this time it bypasses the mixer section. So it's possible to have just the amp sim and all the speakers and mics are bypassed. This lets you do two things. You can play back using only the amp, going direct into the console the way Johnny Smith did, or you can put your favorite IR loader behind amp sim and run these amps through whatever cabinet you desire. These capabilities make this plugin a natural as a pedal platform, using either your own pedals on the floor into your DAW or other pedal plugins. So, on to the mixer itself. There are 5 channels. The first 3 channels use the most popular guitar amp mics, the Shure SM57, the Sennheiser MD421, and the Royer R121 Ribbon. Now for each of these channels, there's a mute, a solo, a volume control, a bar graph LED indicator, a pan control, and a position control. The position control lets you move the mic all the way from dead center of the dust cap to the edge of the speaker cone, and anywhere in between. The next channel is an Electro Voice RE20 at the rear of the cabinet, with all the same controls as before except for position. And don't worry, all the microphones up to this point have been polarity and distance calibrated, so there won't be any phase issues. The final channel is a stereo channel and is a set of ORTF mics set up in the room 3 meters away from the amp. This time difference has been retained, and this is a true stereo source. And there you have it. It's purposefully kept simple, so start playing. We're excited to hear what you create with it. Thanks for watching.